And today we are kicking off 5 days of feasting with these baked maple and pecan apples. They're delicious, they're so easy to make, and they give you all the feels of apple pie with no pie drama. It's my yummy shortcut to dessert happiness. Perfect for Thanksgiving and beyond. My oven's preheating to 375. Let's peel and core these apples. Now we'll core them and pop them into a non-stick or greased baking dish. Now we'll make the filling. Into the food processor, cinnamon and nutmeg, softened butter, a quarter cup pecans, maple syrup, vanilla extract, salt, and medjool dates. Pit removed. We'll pulse it. So now we'll take this paste and stuff all of our apples. Apples are stuffed, so now we'll use the leftover paste to make a crispy oat topping. We'll add this into a mixing bowl, blade first, carefully, old-fashioned oats, and almond flour. And you want to mix it up until it starts to crumble in your fingers, just like that, and then we'll load each apple. I am of the mindset that you can never have too much crumble topping, so load them up. And if some falls between the apples, that's all good. It'll get nice and crispy in the oven. Just plate it up along with the apples. Now we'll tuck these apples in to take a little nap in the oven. Parchment paper down first, then tin foil, and into the oven they go. I mean, gorgeous. Soft apple, warm spices, crunchy granola, creamy, cool whipped cream. So good. For this and all of our festive and easy to make recipes, head to scripsnews.com/feasting.
Okay, now I'm really hungry. Joining me now is Jessica DeLuise, our food and wellness contributor. Okay, that looked incredible. What's your favorite part of that recipe? I mean, I was like, oh, all of that looks so good.
I mean, every bite is spectacular, but I have to say the right answer to this question is the topping. I am such a glutton for that crumble topping, piled high, crispy, it's divine, so good.
You used oats, so, you know, we know that packs health benefits too, whole grain, fiber. So is that something that you've kind of made it a little bit healthier? So Thanksgiving you can eat a little more maybe?
Absolutely. You know, I really like to incorporate whole grains or nutrient-dense ingredients whenever I can. And I think this is just a great example of, even though we are enjoying ourselves on Thanksgiving and having dessert, it can pack some nutrient density. So you're exactly right. Most Americans are not getting the recommended amount of fiber into their diets. So putting those whole grains, those whole grained oats right into that topping is a perfect way to do that, and a delicious way too.
And I noticed that you were using maple syrup. Was that maple syrup in there instead of sugar? Is that better for you as well?
So maple syrup is a great option for a sweetener because I really like that flavor. But if you're looking for a lower calorie or a lower carb alternative, swap in something like a non-nutritive sweetener, like a monk fruit or a stevia, if you needed to do that for diabetes, for example, because maple syrup is still sugar. So even though it's a maybe less processed, more natural type of sugar, it definitely still contributes to our added sugar intake. That was a great question.
I like those ideas. I'm a honey girl, so I may have to try it with some honey too. Do you have a particular apple? I mean, nowadays when I go to the grocery store, it used to be red apple, green apple, but now there's like 148 different varieties, I think.
Absolutely. I think apples, when you bake with them, it's kind of like baking with wine. You want to cook with a wine that you like to drink. So I say bake with an apple that you like to eat. That particular recipe, I used Honeycrisp, but I've used Gala. You can use Granny Smith, anything that you really like to eat and that you enjoy the flavor of, go ahead and swap it in. Baking typically is like a science, but these recipes that I created for 5 days of feasting are so simple and very forgiving. So just use what you like, swap in honey if you wanted, and make it your own. Get creative in the kitchen.
Simple and forgiving, two things that I could totally get behind. All right, so once you have made these, can you make these ahead of time? And if so, what's the best way to store them so that they stay fresh? Because, you know, we're all in the kitchen and Thanksgiving can be really hectic trying to get everything ready at the same time.
Yes, the holiday is so overwhelming. I suggest making the recipe. You can put the granola right on top, then just cover it with some wrap and pop it in the fridge. This will stay in your refrigerator for 1 to 2 days. Then on Thanksgiving, once you're eating your dinner, pop those in the oven, let them bake up while you're eating, take them out, cool them down to room temperature, and you'll be ready for dessert time.
Do they have to be a dessert? I mean, it is a fruit, right? That's part of a food group. And I'm the kind that says, look, fruit should not be in dessert because it is a food group, right? So could you do that?
I mean, you could. I will tell you, after I made this recipe, my husband and I ate these for breakfast for the next couple days. So they do pair beautifully with morning coffee. So that I can say, I mean, think about it. You have fruit, you have some of that whipped cream. If you wanted to add some plain yogurt to add more protein, you could do that and have a beautiful little kind of special Thanksgiving breakfast the day after.
I'm all about that. See, that's my food philosophy. It should be fat and chocolate and some custardy for dessert. Fruit, it's part of the diet. You're supposed to.
Perfect. I love it. Chocolate for sure.
So, all right, let's switch gears for a second because we're going to share holiday food safety tips every day this week. So can you walk us through the right way to defrost a turkey? I might or might not have been spending a couple of hours one Thanksgiving morning with a hair dryer and a semi-frozen turkey. So how much time do we allow per pound? And should we be using the fridge or the sink? And please keep that a secret. I don't want anyone to know the disaster, even though it is on my Instagram page.
Okay, well, hopefully you do not have to do that again after these tips. So it's time to start thinking about defrosting your turkey. And two best methods to doing this: get ahead of it and do it in the refrigerator. So I have a turkey here in front of me. I have it on my baking dish. That's the way you want to pop this in the refrigerator, on a baking dish, to catch any of those juices that might escape. And you do want to plan for about for every 4 to 5 pounds, about 24 hours. So if you're looking at a 20-pound turkey for your Thanksgiving holiday, you're popping that into the refrigerator at least 5 days ahead of time. Okay, a lot of people just think, easy peasy, throw it on the counter, let it defrost. You really don't want to do that because the outside of the turkey will start to warm up and it will enter a temperature zone that we call the danger zone, which is a breeding ground for that bacteria that can cause foodborne illness. So you will be sending your guests home with a full belly of turkey and some illness. You don't want to do that. So pop it in the refrigerator at least 5 days ahead of time. If it fully thaws, no problem. It can stay in the refrigerator fully thawed for at least 1 to 2 days, and then it'll be ready to cook up on Thanksgiving. The other best way is in the sink. If I'll hop in here, and then if you want to do that, you have to keep your turkey completely submerged in cool water. So using a stock pot just like this, pop your turkey in and then refresh that water about every 30 minutes. For that method, you're looking about 30 minutes per pound. For that same 20-pound turkey, you're like at 10 hours. So I would definitely suggest the refrigerator method if you can plan ahead.
I see all the ways that I went wrong, and that'll never happen again. Perfect to know, and I was taking notes while you were telling us that. Jessica DeLuise, thank you so much for joining us today. Great information, great recipe, and we're excited because you'll be back tomorrow for our 5 days of feasting. And you have, I understand, a warm, flaky bite that sets the tone for the whole feast. So you're going to want this to be on your table. So join us here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Thanks, Jessica.